Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Excalibur Data Systems Roundtable Tech Talk. I am Mike Fuson, and I'm joined by the very handsome and debonair Gianmarco Rubino from our friends at Halo over across the pond. Gianmarco, how are you doing today?
Hi, Mike. Very well. For those who have seen previous webinars, we've upgraded to some better quality earpods here at Halo. So hopefully you can hear me loud and clear.
Well, I'm sure everybody will be listening with bated breath because we're gonna talk about something that's a pretty hot item for folks right now. Back in the fall, you guys debuted Halo's chatbot and live chat support that's a built-in to the Halo platform. But you guys have taken it a step further. One of the things we always hear from customers is this is great, right? This is a great technology. How do we bring it now to our core communications hub, whether that be Teams or Slack or whatever it is that they're using? And you guys have already started down that path and getting it to making it available within Teams. So all of a sudden, you start to get you really have that uh, uh, multiple points of entry to a customer to be able to do a chat with Halo. It can be via the Halo portal. The way Halo has built the chatbot, that could be sitting on some sort of other web page that like the intranet or somewhere else to be able to begin a chat. And now it's also come to that communications hub, which is Teams. And you guys are continuing to innovate the chatbot with all kinds of great stuff. And we want to make sure that we're clear that it isn't just chatbot. It also includes the ability to do live chat support with a live technician. And this is all Halo created, Halo owned, built into the product. And so you guys have been able to push the boundaries on this very, very rapidly. So very, very, very exciting stuff because, just but a quarter ago, or a little over a quarter, 6 months ago, this had just debuted within the Halo platform. And we've come a long way in just that short time. So talk to us a little bit about what you guys have been up to in the Mad Science Lab there at Halo.
Yeah, so definitely. It became quite obvious straight away that once we launched the chatbot, it was received very well. Had quite a few customers getting stuck with it and launching it quite quickly. One of the main items was that you could, like you said, embed it on an external website, but there was an issue with authentication there. It's an external website, so we don't know who it is, right? And on the end user portal, I mean, you're already on the end user portal. You've landed there. You might as well just log a ticket, right? Or search the knowledge base. It's not that accessible. We obviously have a mobile app, and we obviously are optimized for mobile browser. But a lot of users don't have that kind of mentality to use the service desk portal on their mobile, right? So we really wanted to tie in the chatbots on some sort of communication hub that is easily accessible, and it's part of the basic core tech stack for pretty much every employee of any sort of significant company, right? Vast majority will use either Teams or Slack, and most members of staff, regardless of the department, sort of use it for communicating with their peers. So there's a dual element there. Firstly, being able to use the same platform to have immediate support from peers, and then if needed, escalate that level of support through the bot. For example, you could transfer an existing chat, or you can copy a transcript without having to go into the portal and create a ticket, but sort of from your phone as and when the issue is occurring, right? So because of this, we've decided to introduce the ability to publish a chatbot profile fully configured and native to Halo on one of the main communications hub, which is Microsoft Teams. So that's what we're going to demo today, really. We're going to show how on Teams you're able to communicate, right, to the Halo chatbot, just publishing a manifest. It's super simple. I won't do the demo of how to set it up. There's a guide for that. I already have it sort of launched. I'll I'll just kind of show the look and feel of it and a few of the basic things that it can do.
Fantastic. I'm excited to see it.
So I'm going to go on and share my screen. Let's have a look. This should be slowly popping up on presentation for you. So yeah, we got it, yeah?
Yes.
So what we have here is, sorry for this, what we have here is a Halo web app and a Halo end user portal. Now, to start with, we're going to see the Halo end user portal, and you can already see that there's the chatbot available here. I have an open chat. I'm just going to terminate it. So we're going to just, go through how this chatbot looks like. So ending the chat, we're able to start a new one, right? And this is what if you're familiar with Halo, this is what you've been able to see up until now. You start a new conversation as an authenticated logged in user, and you have a few options, obviously configurable options on here, right? Each one of these will use a different function. Some of you might have noticed that we have an option for ChatGPT. It's a bit of a teaser. We'll leave that for the next webinar. We've released the ChatGPT integration, and if you're interested in sort of what the main things it can do, there's an article on our website and all the socials. So, more coming on that front. But for today, obviously, other core functions such as searching the knowledge base, creating a ticket, reporting an issue, or triggering a live chat. Right now, if I launch my Microsoft Teams window, which should be on screen, I'm able to have some commands. I've just created an app. Here we go. It's as I said, if you go into spin up a Halo trial, go into your Halo and go into the Teams integration, all the information on how to set up is there, and it's really simple. There's some commands. What I want to do here is start a new conversation, right? Once I start my new conversation, what the bot is going to do is just going to suggest, I should have turned off notifications, but oh well, it will suggest the same options that we saw on the Halo portal. Now, I'm simply on Teams, I'm not even authenticated. Because it's connected to my tenant, Halo already knows who I am, right? So I can search the knowledge base and enter a couple key search terms. And as part of the bot flow, what will happen is articles that match a tag or the search term will be returned. I think I choose the wrong one. So whenever it finds a result, what will happen is a card is sent in Microsoft Teams. So we can see kind of a preview of the article. Bear in mind that Teams is able to send more cards. This is a very basic pre-configured example, but you'd be able to scroll and see the various results. If it's an article of interest, it will open it directly on the portal on a separate tab. Teams validate the link to make sure it's secure, and it will direct you. This can easily be an external knowledge base. Halo can have public and private articles. Some will require login, some won't. And then we'll sort of load it on screen. There we go with all the different steps, images, whatever, and whatnot. Of course, on Teams, the chat is still open. Let's assume that this was indeed useful. That's part of what I wanted to know. So I'm going to sort of reply. And the bot flow is configured to, allow multiple actions at once. So it's going to allow me to select a different function next. What I'm going to be able to do is select something else. So I can either try ChatGPT, or let's say that I want to create a ticket. So I'm going to report an issue, right? And in a similar way, the bot is going to suggest me what to input. So I can say that Microsoft Teams is popping with notifications. even if they are off. So the card is now going to respond that a ticket is going to be logged. So simple as that, a ticket is going to be logged. The summary, the timestamp will be so the name of the chat, right? And the end user, because as I said, it's going to recognize me. It is going to send me a link to the portal as well. And then it's going to allow me to move on to the next function. If I go into the link to the portal, I will see the details of the ticket, of course. I'm just going to show this on screen just to make sure it's clear. Now, as I said, we kept this super simple. Of course, you might want to capture more than one field on ticket creation, right? It could be that you want to say, please send screenshots of the issue. Do you want to add any attachments? The bot is definitely configured to allow sequential inputs from the end user, and they would all form part of the ticket, right? It can even have fields such as category, impact, urgency. Here, as I said, to keep it simple, we want to allow the user to create an incident with the minimal effort required. You know, some of the pain points from our customers are quite often like, you know, I can't get my users to create a ticket. They want to email in because it's easy, or this is easier than emailing in. So, you know, it's a way of incentivizing the user to actually direct their queries the correct way, if that makes sense.
Well, and
So
I
we're
think
gonna.
a key thing you
Sorry.
said there is that this is completely configurable by the customer. The workflow that a customer is going to go through, you can configure. So if you want to ask more questions, you can. If you want to keep it simple, you can. This is not, hey, here's the Halo chatbot and it works just this way. This is a completely configurable experience based on what you as the customer delivering this solution want to provide. So you certainly can make it your own. And we saw it, called HaloBot, for example, on the customer portal. This is also brandable for the
Totally
customer as
brandable.
well.
Yeah, totally brandable. When you create a manifest, it allows you to input the both the name. Of course, we call it the Halo bot, but it can be your own organization spot, and at the same time the logo. The logo is just two PNG files that you upload, and that's what then is added as part of the manifest that you download in Teams. So it's really quite flexible. Just to add to what you were saying, I thought I'd probably quickly bring up the config on screen here.
Mhm.
As you can see, there's different nodes. I'd like to report an issue. Brings you to the node where you basically add the input of please describe the issue you are having, and that populates the details field. Let's assume that we want to populate a different field after that, right? And we can easily do so by saying that this moves it to a new step instead of an existing step, right? And the next step is going to ask us for the next field available, right? So we go into this new step, we follow the red line. I'm on my laptop. On a monitor, it will be a bit of a friendlier experience to navigate. But if I follow the red line, I can zoom out as well. You can see the new step is here. I can edit the new step, and I can add a different level of impact and of input, right? A different type of input. And as you can see here, you have all your different system and custom fields. We're talking about the level of impact. Well, there's the impact field, right? Please select the impact, and that will allow you to ask all those mandatory fields to be populated by the end user. And then you just move it to the next step, ask the next field, if that makes sense. On the newest iteration of the bot, we also have the ability to just say, send them a form. If you send them a form, you don't actually have to even configure the bot to go step by step by step, field after field. It will just drive it based on what you've already configured on the portal. Of course, it could be that you want a different, simpler field. As we said before, it's not a substitute for a portal. It sort of complements the end user portal. But we want everyone to have as many options as possible. So really, this is very, very similar to our workflow builder. You'll see it's actually using the same components as well. And it allows you to basically customize the whole experience based on what you think your end users would, appreciate and use the most. Going back, we can easily try another function, which I think is quite useful, which is live chat, right? This is to get immediate support. Again, phone, think of P1s. So I like to speak to someone, especially if it's in hours, there's going to be someone available. And I am going to try and be two people at the same time. So I'm going to be the end user and I'm going to be the agent, both on the same screen. So this is the end user side of me that's going to say, Halo is running slow today, and I'm getting errors in API, right? So I'm going to select this, and I'm then now going to open the instance which I'm the agent for, which is of course connected to the bot. And what we'll see in a second is a chat pop-up on the bottom right-hand side corner. I'm on a call right now. If I wasn't on the call, you'd be able. There was a signed icon. There it is at the top. So this is actually ringing for your agents, right? They actually know. They're told that this customer or end user is waiting for a response. Obviously, they have multiple chats at once and chats at once on here as well. I'm going to respond. Of course, once I respond, it stops ringing for everyone, right? And you can see that this is already tied to the ticket because it has already created the ticket as part of the same chat, right? So I can reply to the end user and I can say, please, can I have an example ticket or area of Halo where this is occurring? So back to being the end user, let's say that an article isn't loading on the portal. I think that's a good example. Let's assume the images are broken on this article. This article is getting an error in API. I'm gonna go into my Teams chat. I can see the response from the technician in this case. It tells me who the technician is. Again, I'm talking to myself, but this is just a demo. And I can input the URL, say this is an example article, but there are more. So I'm in Teams, right? I'm me end user in Teams, and the agent is in Halo, and the message appears, the hyperlink is carried across. If we go into that ticket that was created as part of this bot flow, what we can see is that against this ticket, we can see a chat tab. So this is all being recorded and logged. So even when this will be terminated, all the timestamp, all the conversations, all the communications are available from the ticket, right? So nothing is lost, and it's easily accessible from a reporting, management, and sort of review perspective as well. Right, so the back and forth can sort of continue. We're able to send screenshots as well. Let's see if I can add it on here. I think it's on the newer version, but we can add an attachment as an example too. So let's just add an image. And have you tried this procedure? And the end user, of course, if I'm in Teams again, will receive both messages, the attachment and obviously the text, right? So, it can kind of continue the conversation, or the end user can just say, end the conversation with the bot. And at the same time, it is able to gather feedback. So you can then leave and rate your experience just with sort of as part of the flow with kind of a one-click kind of situation. So it's kind of built in to do multiple functions without leaving the communication hub. And as you can see, when we move back into Halo, everything is logged and added to the ticket. right? We can see the transcript, we can see who the participants are, and it's going to sort of stay as part of that. So if this ticket's passed to someone else, it's quite immediately visible. What was the history? What was the back and forth? What had happened? Which files were exchanged? Which screenshots were exchanged, etc. So that's that's all part of the communication flow. As I said, this is a very simple ticket. Realistically, someone will triage it and just read what the chat is about and categorize it. And if it is an incident, prioritize it based on impact and urgency. All of that is built in. But the initial point of creation is significantly more simple for the end user. So I think that's pretty much what this is for. I'm going to stop sharing.
It's democratizing the chatbot, right? We've brought the chatbot to the user where the user lives. And as we had talked about in the very, very beginning, Teams is the first foray into this, but Slack is coming in the not too distant future, as well as two of the most common communication hubs that are used by customers today. Teams being probably the most significant. Many customers are on that, and then who knows what other communication hubs will come in the future, based on customer feedback as you guys continue to drive this forward. But it's democratizing this and taking the chatbot to the customer and making it easy for them to then do the communications, and then taking that a step further and also bringing the live chat support to where the customer lives also. And this is broadly accessible to everybody in the organization as they're poking around in their team. So this is a big step forward in making this easy to use. And you guys have built it as an integrated Teams chatbot. This is not some sort of thing where they go to it and they type whatever they type and then it jumps them out to a web page or anything else. This is all native where they live. They don't have to leave and do anything special. So I think that's very, very, very exciting.
It's using the cards feature of Teams. Teams users will be aware of it. So, like we just saw the example of returning articles, similar things can be done with service status. Check the status of the service. It sends a card. It doesn't direct you to the portal. You can check whether your ERP or finance system is having an issue without leaving Teams just by using the bot, right? So these are just a couple examples, and it's definitely built in. And the other thing that I do want to say is this can be, once you've configured your chatbot in Halo, which can take some time and some trial and effort based on the usage. You can obviously report on the usage and you configure your flows and you adjust them. Once that's finalized, publishing it to Teams is a 10-minute job. All you need is a tenant ID, 2 icons, and that will be accessible in Teams. Obviously, to make it publicly accessible across the organization, a Teams admin needs to approve it within your sort of organization. But other than that, it is as simple as that. So that's the other advantage. There's really no harm in, like you said, democratizing the chatbot, allowing access to everyone. Everyone can use it, and it's available. It's part of the product, and no extra charge and no hassle to set up. No maintenance really, other than improving it. So 3 months down the line, you check what the type of usage is, what kind of queries you get often, you gather feedback, right? And based on that, you can update it, and you don't have to republish it. At that point, it just connects with the live config changes that you make in Halo. So it's kind of built to
and I think that's an important point. You're only configuring it in one place. So no matter how they're accessing the chatbot, whether they're doing it through the portal or through some sort of other link, if they're doing it in Teams or on their phone in Teams or any of those places, there's one configuration set that's consistent. The experience that they're going to have with the chatbot, no matter how they're accessing it, is consistent. And as an administrator, I'm only changing it in one place. Now I've got to go do this, and I've got to go do it over here. There's not 7 different places I've got to make the same change. I'm controlling my workflow for it, and that workflow is going to apply to wherever that chatbot is available, wherever I've chosen to make it available. So very
Uh,
exciting stuff. Very
yeah.
exciting stuff.
You mentioned Slack. That is actually on their way. So, we're targeting Q3 time for Slack to publish it. The publishing side of things, Slack usually takes a bit more time, but it's in the works. And we're not opposed to sort of replicating this kind of work to allow publishing on additional tools. But like you said, we just went with the most commonly used for now. And yeah, we're excited to hear what our customers think, and just hopefully it will improve end user experience, which at the end of the day is what we're all about. It's service management, and simplifying access to the different services.
Well, it's always exciting to see kind of as you guys are pushing the envelope, like we did the teaser for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
That'll be a future video. That's already here. It's already available to us, and just continuing to push the technology to leverage those things that people are used to.
Yeah,
Gianmarco,
we'll talk
go ahead.
about ChatGPT in a couple of
Yeah,
weeks' time, and let's let everyone digest this, and that'll come out just after, because I'm really excited to showcase what that can do as well.
well, it's always exciting to see what you guys are doing. Thank you for joining me today, and sharing what's been going on in the Mad Science Lab there at Halo. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing all the things that we get a chance to talk about, that are going on, and the innovation that continues to come out of Halo. Um, Thank you all for joining us today. ExcaliburData.com. You can learn all about HaloITSM, and reach out to us, and we can get you together with Jim, Marco, and the team at Halo and show you what Halo can bring to your organization. Thanks for joining us, and we see you again on the next episode. Take care, everyone.
Thank, Thanks everyone for taking the time.